see us here at the podium at gate 33.
All right, welcome in to Ride With Me. It's a different ride today. We're in the airport. Little quick trip over to Vegas for a few days. Plane's still not here, so all good. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here. Go over here, get out of the way. I had a spot. Let's see. I always try to be out of the way, not disturbing people when I do my ridiculousness of this stuff. So, so yesterday was our first episode. Funny story. So, I always take control of the car from the self-driving when I get into the parking lot of my office. So I'm pulling in. I caught a guy on my left hand peripheral. He was running through the parking lot, like jogging. Okay. I'm coming straight, and I slow down, and he takes the turn. So I start to go forward again, and then as he takes the turn, he decides he's going to come across, and I stop. And he looked at me like I was in the wrong. I'm like, what are you doing? Anyways, he used some profanities towards me, which was fine. I didn't take too kindly to that, but thought that was the end of it. I ended the stream and went about my day, got my stuff out of my car. As I'm sitting there, he came running down and came running up on me, yelling profanities at me and whatnot. And so, we'll back and forth, but that was the end of that. But definitely a different way to start my Monday than what I expected. Pretty funny. So, anyways, this is, trying to, again, Ride With Me is all about just sort of starting the day, being more efficient with my time, put some stuff down, record some stuff, and then if people want to hang out or chat or join me, we can do that too. So I'm going to try to line up some guests to jump in on this with me and do a couple minutes and talk on some topics. And the goal is, whether you're riding to work or you can watch it later or whatever, we dive in on some stuff that's going on in and around the world. And one of the I try to look at some of the topics that are out there and see what's going on. And one of the big ones that I saw was an article on how the NFL draft has just exploded over the last decade. It's been pretty impressive to watch what the NFL has done. From my time in the league, at this point, I left the league 13 years ago. And back then, I could even say the direction that the NFL had on, with brand and all of this stuff, you kind of need to know who you want to be, not today, but aspirationally out, right? What does 3 years look like? What does 5 years look like? Okay, now the decisions that we make today can ladder to those aspirational goals. Okay, so the league knew who it wanted to be. It knew what it wanted to present to their fans, and they needed to round out that calendar, right? So they wanted year-round opportunities to engage with their fans. They do that through an amazing kind of cadence of touch points, and the draft being one of the tent poles of that strategy. And then, how do you do it even more? They take it on the road. Traveling draft. This is a massive undertaking to not have this thing be in one place and make it a TV event. Now it is a traveling live experience opportunity for fans that they can actually come. So before, in a closed environment, it was a TV event. Now, massive crowds, massive experience, where fans, the percentage of fans that that have actually gone to an NFL game is pretty small. Um, Proximity to stadiums and season tickets and all these things, it is a massively TV consumed game. But now another event that gives people an opportunity to feel close and to have a moment with the NFL is just so smart. And the numbers, I mean, the visuals of Broadway in Nashville when they had the draft there were just crazy. And one that made everybody go, man, I'd like to go to that. It's the festival mindset of, wow, that's attainable to me. I want to go experience it and I want to be there. I mean, if you look at it on paper, it's somebody reading names at a podium. That person comes out, holds up a jersey, but it's turned into an event, right? And it shows you that anything can be created and put on a giant stage with storytelling and anticipation and the sale of hope. So if you're selling that, hey, the future of your franchise could happen in this moment and you could be there, people want to be part of that. So yeah, I just, watching what's happened there is pretty cool, and it should be inspirational to other brands to realize what the NFL has done and take some clues and some lessons from what the NFL has done. There's so many, my podcast is called Lessons from Sports, because sports are on this grand stage that we can all see, but to look at it and just go, oh man, they got really lucky with that is just foolishness. Instead of looking at it and going, wow, there was a plan to this. They've executed it so well, and building the anticipation and the momentum around the NFL draft has now turned it into a can't miss event. I mean, multiple TV broadcasts going at once, storylines for weeks leading up to it, build to this like huge moment. Just incredible. So yeah, I think, for me, when we go and work with brands on those topics about how do you create something, it starts a long time ago. It starts with building the momentum and knowing what you wanted to be and who you wanted to be. And they knew, the NFL is known for a really long time who and what they wanted to be. So anyways, yeah, that was that one to me stood out in a major way. The other one was, I think it got announced like a week ago, which was the purchase of 160 over 90 as a sports marketing agency coming into Publicis. And that one makes a lot of sense. You're seeing a lot of brands realizing that sports isn't part of your media mix anymore. It could be your entire mix. It's one of the few places where you can connect with a large population, large segment of a population with consistency and impact, right? You can legitimately cut through the noise with sports sponsorship and advertising. Everything is so clouded and there's so much happening everywhere we look, but sports has this ability to cut through that clutter. The connectivity that you have, that the teams have and the athletes have with the fans and the community is unlike anything else. And so, yeah, there's highs and lows and wins and losses, but the connectivity, if done well, teams that do it well, teams that truly connect with their community, truly connect with their fan base, have the ability to cut through that clutter for you, if you do it well. Too often brands come in and try to shove their messaging into that fan base. That doesn't work anymore. What you've got to do is find a way to weave it in, right? When I go back to, early part of my career working in radio, there was this pivotal moment where I was an on-air personality. I didn't like it. It was boring to me. Some people like it, great. But what I realized was there was an opportunity to take advertisers and weave them into the content a little bit more organic so that listeners would feel like That was a genuine engagement, and something that the talent was recommending was actually something they may actually like for real. And it was, so because we targeted brands that laddered up to our personalities, which today you would call an influencer. But that was the game, right? Finding products that influencer actually would actually like, and then let them genuinely recommend it to their audience. I mean, that was 20 years ago. So now, fast forward, here we are, and sports teams have that same ability to connect with an audience and to cut through the clutter on your behalf. But you have to know how to do it. You have to know how to pull the levers appropriately, what assets to ask for, how to use those assets. Teams are not set up to be pulling those levers for you. They're set up to provide you access to those levers and ensure that whatever you want to do with them works well. We just rolled out a new partnership with the San Diego Padres and Ballast Point. We know the levers, right? We understand the levers of a Major League Baseball team, and more specifically, some of the levers with the San Diego Padres having had worked there. But knowing the schedule and the cadence of a City Connect and realizing that there's an opportunity to roll out a new product on the back of a giant wave of excitement around a new uniform, which you know is going to be exciting. You know that the Padres and Nike and Major League Baseball are going to do an amazing job with that project. So you hitch your wagon to that and say, all right, we believe in you as our partner. We believe what you're going to do. And we want to come along and do a product that backs it up and gives even more reach. And from a Ballast standpoint, the hardest thing you can do with a new product on a shelf is have somebody recognize it. Oh, I saw that, I want to try it. We would spend a lot of money to try to get that product in front of you as many times as possible so that when you do get to the shelf and you see it, you go, oh, I recognize that. I wanted to try that. That's the game. Well, on the back of a sports partnership, you have the ability to do that if done properly. So by doing that, we now have a new product in the marketplace, the Super Logger, right? Which is all branded with City Connect. It looks unbelievable. It's a beautiful piece. The packaging is amazing. The can is incredible. All great, beautiful art that the team and Nike and I believe they actually had an artist come in and draw a bunch of it. It's great. Then you put that on packaging, instant recognition, instant connectivity to the product, all built from this partnership. So that's the way you have to look at these things, is like know your business and know the levers that you. Yesterday on Ride With Me, we talked about how Kraft Heinz had gotten out of the signage business, and people were alluding that signage is dead, and it is not dead. It just has a different purpose. They're looking for stunts. They're looking for social engagement. That's a metric that now matters to them. Well, yeah, sign's not going to give you that unless you do something crazy with your sign. Right? If you're looking for social metrics and social engagement and social reach, yeah, sign's probably not the right asset. That doesn't mean sports isn't the right asset. Doesn't mean sports isn't the right platform to get you there. I mean, that might not be the right piece of the puzzle. Same thing with the Ballast Point example. We have signage. We use it very, very differently. It is an awareness tactic, so we want to bring awareness that our product is available in the ballpark. We want you to know that, maybe you're thirsty, you look up and you see that sculpin fish swim by and you go, oh yeah, you know what, I'd like one of those. Let's go get one of those. So that's how we use it. And then the rest of it is engagement tactics, leveraging the team's assets to help tell our story and help build that brand for Ballast Point. And that goes with all these brands. So yeah, I think that is definitely interesting. Back to the 160/90 is that brands, I think, holistically are realizing that sports is where you need to be investing your time, effort, and money right now. It's one of the few places that can drive live audience, not just in person, but on TV, right? So broadcast and live, sports can deliver that. There are not many, I can't think of many things that can actually do that can drive both those audiences and a vehicle to cut your brand through it naturally. So, more agencies and brands trying to find a way to cut through the noise and connect to businesses that know the sports business and sports marketing landscape. So yeah, that was a fun one. What else did I have on my list of things for today? The other headline that is out there is in regards to the fall of RSNs and what that means to sports, and I think that's playing itself out, but we'll see what that does. I don't know. When I was on the team side, we were heavily involved. You know, this whole teams are now becoming media companies. I mean, when I got brought into the Dolphins in 2010, that's what we were doing. So this has been going on for a long time. There have been teams way ahead of the curve on this, understanding where the landscape was going. But like anything in sports, there's a whole bunch of other teams that have just been sitting back watching that happen and waiting for it to be a necessity to them versus being out ahead of it and being ready for it. That's the nature of any industry. There are those who are ahead and planning and strategizing and getting ready. There are a group in the middle that are doing their thing and plotting and kind of following along with the leaders. And then the bottom tier teams that are just going to wait until it gets forced on them. It's just the way it goes in any industry. It doesn't matter what category you look at. It's the 10-80-10 rule. 10% are leading the way, 10% barely hanging on, and the 80 in the middle are doing their part. And so I look at everything that way, and usually the math is pretty darn close. So, all right, I am, so I'm at the airport. You can kind of get a sense of that. About to take off, about to board my flight. So I'm going to wrap up today's episode. But yeah, appreciate you guys checking in and checking out the new show. I'm going to try to do it as often as I can. My mornings, start to build some consistency and take on topics. And maybe tomorrow we'll have a guest. I'll have someone stop in and hang out with me. We'll chat. So have a great day, everybody. See you soon.